Yo, what is up, everybody? Radiant here, and today, well, we're going to talk about a lot. So, to get right into it, we are finally at the conclusion of Season 2, as a few weeks ago from when I've finally decided to record, and a lot's happened since then. So, when I initially made my video, it was about like a week or two after Season 2's launch, and I talked about how the current state of the game, it's not really something that I'm interested in engaging with, and sadly that opinion hasn't really changed that much. Uh, from the overall nature of the game, I still feel like it's the same, like string pressure into stance mix up, where there's either something that's plus on block or something that homes, and it happens to be a heat engager as well. And it's just not something that I'm really like motivated to lock in with and understand and adapt. I've tried to off camera, but I just I don't get Tekken 8. I just don't. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. The game does not have to cater to my needs. I don't think it does. And we'll get to that. But there has been some meaningful changes. Because from the get-go, I might have said this in my first video, but from the get-go, something I do want to point out, they did make sidestepping incredibly, responsive in this game. Being able to sidestep into the screen from a ducking position is fantastic, and I think it was a really good change. Or, not really change, but just like a fix. One of the updates they did, I'm not really a frame data guy, so I don't have this with me, like the numbers, but they had nerfed heat engagers to not be so plus anymore, to the point where I had like actually gotten onto the game to see how different it would make it feel, and I ran into like a Fang where he did a heat engager and he did a launcher that normally I wouldn't have been able to parry as Jin, but I was able to parry and punish him. And then the second round, he tried that same thing again, and I parried him and I punished him. Then the third, I thought I was going to do it again, and he didn't. But I was like, man, what a fantastic change. Cool. They've also made it to where heat smashes, with the exception of Clive and maybe two or three others, they no longer track you, which is a pretty good change. I don't know if characters like Leroy that have multi-hit heat smashes will realign with you, but those two things I think were really, really good changes, and I was hoping we'd see more stuff like that. But we haven't really had much that I can think of. Like aside from behavior changes and bug fixes, there hasn't really been much balancing aside from like the initial emergency hotfixes with like the make some noise and other moves. And this game has just remained the way it was, really, which again, it's still something I'm just not really interested in interacting with and engaging. However, after Ana, though, we had, of course, Fakaram, where around this time there was a reshuffling within the balance team. A lot of the older team came back, and I'm not really a big Fakaram fan. I didn't care for him. I don't really hate the guy because I miss a Bruce or anything. I just don't really care for the dude. But I was surprised when he came out. I was like, wow, this character is actually like very well designed. He's pretty well balanced, and I wish the rest of the cast played like him. And then, of course, Armor King was the next character. And Armor King comes out, and I'm like, man, Armor King feels great. It's like Fakaram. I really wish the rest of the cast played like this. And of course, we get to marry Zoo. And when I initially saw her, I saw you know, the whole spear thing, I was like, oh great. We're gonna have another Tekken 8 character. She's gonna be doing all this crazy magical ass stuff. It's gonna be another stance, string in the stance, everything plus homing nonsense. And if you can ignore the visual of her, such as like the spear, I think Mary Zoo is a perfect blend of, you know, the modern day Tekken and the traditional. Because, yeah, she's out here with the whole magical girl stuff and all, and yeah, she's got the spear. But I mean, she's out here throwing hands though, and it really, it really made me hopeful because I'm like, you know, the old team came in after Anna, so everything that they've directly been involved with has been really good, and maybe, just maybe, the reason why there's been no real big balance patch is because Season 3 is going to be like a No Man's Sky kind of thing, where they've been like, okay, we just came in, we have no clue how to immediately fix all this, but we'll get cooking, and then we'll have a big Season 3 update, and then bam, the game will suddenly just be so much better. Everybody will be on the same level as Fahkumram, Armor King, and Marizu. But, as we know, as of this month, we got the news that Harada is leaving. And I didn't really want to address any of this in my previous video, because I just kind of wanted to focus on just, you know, giving thanks to Harada, but to address the elephant in the room, yeah, Harada not being involved at all with, you know, Tekken Project and Bandai Namco is, it's a scary thought, because Tekken 8, he wasn't really involved with a lot. He's more of like an overseer. Like, in terms of like actual development stuff, it's been Nakatsuku and Murray, but he's still kind of been like a consultant kind of thing, maybe. But it's been kind of something that you would know if you're able to like read between the lines of the things that Harada said over the years, where there's been a lot of pushback from him within Bandai Namco, where like things like, I don't know, like Tekken Tag 2's free DLC or free cosmetics that we got in Tekken 7, or just who knows what other monetary practices the Bandai Namco wanted to put in those games that they just didn't. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Tekken 8, where he is not really directly involved, all of a sudden we're seeing microtransaction like currency and a whole shop dedicated to it, FOMO style battle passes, and we're now at a point where there's a character and stage pass. So I'm really curious on like where this is going to go from here. But not only that, but I really think that the biggest blow is that we're kind of losing the champion of the community, because not only was Harada, you know, like a big director, but he was also like the face. Like, whenever people think of like Tekken, Harada's always there. He's interacted with the community so much, and so many memories, and he's been well in tune with the community for many years. And that kind of connection that we have with Harada, that form of like communication, I don't really know if we'll ever have that again with Murray, especially, you know, not to, you know, go into him or anything, but he's lost a lot of faith within the community, I'd say, ever since Season 2. And I don't really think a lot of people are familiar with Nakatsuku like that. I don't really think he says much online, which honestly is probably a good idea. But I'm wondering how much pushback Bandai Namco got on the inside from Harada, and I don't really know if Murray and Akatsuki have that kind of will. You know, not to give them any ideas, but like, let's say, I don't know, Tekken 9. They're like, hey, so Tekken 7 and 8, this jukebox, we gave all the music away for free. Well, now let's do what Street Fighter 6 is doing and charge people like 5 or however much to get each like game's playlist, basically. Whereas here, it's been just free. So it's stuff like that. And it's stuff like Harada, maybe it was Harada's decision to bring in a lot of the old team into Tekken 8, to where now we're getting it fixed. So I don't know to what degree he was really steering the ship when it comes to stuff like that on the inside. And I'm hoping that him leaving isn't going to derail things any more than they've already been, from my perspective. Because, I mean, despite what myself and others with the same sentiment have said about Tekken 8, the game is still doing very well. Still doing very well. It obviously hasn't sold as much as Tekken 7, but it's selling at the same rate. And Tekken 8's reach has been very big. We've had, you know, different content creators come through, we've had VTubers come through, we've had, like, celebrities and music artists get involved. And not only that, but whatever your opinion is of them, I'm not really too crazy in them, but we've had a lot of these little collabs, like, you know, the Karate Kid one, the WWE Champions one, the Nike one, the Chipotle one, and others that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. And I don't really think Tekken 8's doing bad. And I'm wondering if, with Harada gone, is there really a push to actually, you know, quote unquote, fix the game from my perspective and others who have a similar one? Or is Season 3 just going to be a tripling down on the approach where it's like, well, our game's doing well despite what social media wants to say, so if it ain't, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't know where Tekken 8's gonna go moving forward. I don't know where Tekken in general is gonna go moving forward, but I'm just really hopeful that it's something that I'll be able to enjoy. And, you know, if it's not, then, you know, it is what it is. Maybe I'll just take it on the chest and learn how to adapt to it, or who knows? Because I really do care about Tekken. I want to stick around. You know, I'd like to become a content creator and all, and just outside of that, Tekken's been very important to me throughout my life, and it's not really something that I just want to completely walk away from. But it's also not something that I want to pretend like I enjoy, you know? But anyway, though, that's about all I wanted to ramble about when it comes to this topic. But just to close off the video, I just wanted to add this here. If you're somebody who enjoys Tekken 8 despite it all, then hats off to you. You know, I've seen a lot of sentiment where there's a lot of people who will go after those that do enjoy the game, where they say, like, you're contributing to the death of the franchise, you're the reason why this game is like this, you're not a real Tekken fan, you only like this game because you can just button mash and all this shit, and oh, who cares if you got this rank because it's Tekken 8. Just no. If you enjoy Tekken 8, enjoy it. You're no less of a Tekken fan than any other Tekken player that has played the other ones. Enjoy what you enjoy and share it. Because I just am so just mentally checked out with the amount of discourse I've heard when it comes to Tekken 8 Season 2. And I feel like there are way too many people, they're way too emotionally involved in this topic. So I just wanted to end the video off with that, and yeah, that's about all I got. So thank you all for watching the video. Comment down below, what do you think of Tekken 8? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you kind of in the middle? And I will see you all sometime soon, maybe. Well, thanks again for watching, and happy holidays. Adios.